Vice Chairperson Lane,
Here.
Commissioner Smith,
Here.
Commissioner Massey,
Here.
Commissioner Geringer.
Here.
You rise and join the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Support.
Any questions, comments, or corrections? Seeing none, roll call.
Geringer,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Elkins,
Yes.
Lane,
Yes.
Massey.
Yes.
Okay. We have approval of the minutes for December 20th, 2023.
So moved.
Support.
Any corrections, additions, comments? All right, seeing none, roll call.
Smith,
Yes.
Elkins,
Yes.
Lane,
Yes.
Massey,
Yes.
Geringer.
Yes.
All right, we have meetings and hearings, Monday, January 15th, Genesee County Road Commission will be closed in observance of Martin Luther King Day. Tuesday, January 23rd, 2024. First time I have to say that out loud. At 9 o'clock, we have roads and bridges, and at 10 o'clock,
I would say that's a Randy.
now we are down to election of chairperson.
Chair, if it's, are you ready? I would move that we appoint Tim Elkins for year 2024 as chairperson.
Support.
No. I move that we nominate Kathy Lane for chair.
Okay. We got one motion move, vote on that, if that doesn't pass, then we'll go to your motion.
Well, Mr. Chair, may I ask a question? Since the attorney's here, I thought during the election, you supposed to vacate the chair and someone takes over during the election.
No.
I thought that. That's not the way it's done here? Okay. Is that right, attorney? I didn't understand. Oh, I said, well, let me rephrase my question so to make it clear. I thought that the chair, during the election, the chair declares his seat, and then someone else holds the election, and then whoever is elected takes over as the chair.
Motion on the table, you deal with that, and if that fails, then somebody can make another motion.
Oh. Okay,
Thank you for that.
yeah.
So we have a motion on the floor and support. All right. Any other questions or comments?
Who was support, Chris?
I'm sorry?
Chris was support?
I did.
Yes.
Okay. Smith,
No.
Geringer,
Yes.
Elkins,
Yes.
Massey,
No,
Lane.
Yes.
Thank you. All right.
I'll make the motion.
I'm sorry, sir, I'm making a motion. I'll make a motion to appoint Kathy Lane as vice chair. Is there support?
I'll support.
Okay. Any questions or comments? All right, seeing none, roll call.
Geringer,
Yes.
Elkins,
Yes.
Massey,
No,
Smith,
No.
Lane,
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. All right, now we're down to appointments. There's just going to be a couple changes on the appointments. We have Parks and Rec, Kathy will remain on Parks and Rec retirement. I will remain on the retirement board. The TAC committee, I'm going to have Mr. Smith go to the TAC committee. Water and Waste, I'm going to have Mr. Geringer go to that. And then Mr. Massey will remain on the Region 5.
Could you go over those one more time?
Yes, sir. Parks and Rec will be Ms. Lane. Retirement Commission will be myself. Transportation Advisory Committee will be Mr. Smith. Water and Waste will be Mr. Geringer. And then Region 5 will be Mr. Massey. I need a motion and a support.
Support.
Any questions? Roll call.
Geringer,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Elkins.
Yes.
Lane,
Yes?
Massey.
Yes.
All right, now we're down to the
Chairman? We have, under public address to the board, a meeting or so ago, we voted that all of the comments were to be made in a respectful, professional manner, something like that. And that isn't in this list of conditions, and I was wondering if it was overlooked, because I really do want to.
Mr. Chair, let me say this. If we trying to go to a dictatorship, let me say this, let me say this.
Mr. Massey,
Let me-
can
let-
I just stop you for 1 second?
Yes. Let-
We're on public comment.
Yeah,
Ms.
yeah.
Lane's comment was in regards to the public comment.
That's
Directions.
That's the point. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Okay.
That's the point I'm trying to
You're
make.
talking about the public comment.
The public comments that Ms. Lane said. Well,
Make sure.
okay, I'm not talking about anything else, okay? We trying to go to a dictatorship. Now, it has already been established that you cannot suppress anyone's voice, okay? Now, you can say what you want to or what you would like to see, but you cannot suppress anyone's action. That's probably a better way to say it. You cannot do that, period. Okay? So I don't know what Mrs. Lane was referring to in a respectful manner, because that can be debated. What one calls a respectful manner may not be a respectful manner in my opinion. Okay.
And that's a good point.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Thank you.
Yes.
And I think that's something that if there's some disagreement in the wording of what we're gonna put in the board agenda minutes, the words on the agenda, I think we should have, a majority, if not all members of the board agree on the language. So I think what we should do is take up the points that both of you have made. I think we should discuss that as a unit, full board, to re-review the language that we discussed previously. So I think what I would like to do is bring the language back, give it to everybody for the next meeting so everybody can review it, and then we can discuss it at that point, and then we can listen to comments, and if we need to make any changes or any modifications at that point, we can make it as a unit. But everybody's had a chance to look at the existing wording and then the recommended wording, and then we can modify from there. Yes, Mr.
Mr. Chair, my members, I can't remember everything in the Open Meeting Act now. Help me out here, Attorney. I think something to that effect is in the Open Meeting Act. Suppressing someone's speech, or something to that effect.
I mean, I'm not sure specifically what part you're referring to. I think generally the Open Meetings Act is intended to make sure that the deliberations and the decisions of any public body, including this one, are made in public. And, I mean, my opinion is that you're both correct, right? I mean, I think that people need to be allowed to speak their mind, but also to Commissioner Lane's point, you do it with respect. And I don't think it's inappropriate for this court to at least set the expectation that if there's going to be public comment, that it be dignified and that it be respectful to the board, but without limiting the content of what people say.
Mr. Massey, the reason I brought this up again was a couple of meetings ago, we had a gentleman get up for his 3 minutes, and it was nothing but foul language, words that I have never heard in my home, and words that I was offended for the women and the ministers that were there, because I don't think foul language espoused for 3 minutes is not something anyone should have to listen to, including you can say things without using vulgar language, and I only remember one of the words because I've heard it enough times. The rest of them I didn't remember, so.
I'm gonna make this comment. I can't say how much news you listen to, but I can say this and stand behind it anywhere in the world. In Congress, United States Congress, they've said everything that you say we shouldn't say. They've done everything that you say we shouldn't do. So I just leave it at that.
Up public comment, is there anyone in the public that would like to make a comment? Once? Going twice? Going three times? We will close public comment. All right, correspondence.
Yes, Mr. Chair, we've got one incoming item, letter correspondence, no board action required, no outgoing. One incoming, Genesee social media outreach, education report, no board action required, and then no information.
Okay. All right, I would like to, there's the media, would you like to outline or highlight anything in your piece? You put a lot of effort into this. Just thought point to that nature. Right, we'll do that. Thank you. I'll hold that to the side. All right, with that done, we'll move down to 10A1.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I'll take this one, requesting board approval to purchase desktop computers. December 14, 2023, sealed bids were open and read out loud, project number 94, desktop computers. Unistars, Arco, computers submitted low bid, as reads, Unistars, Arco, computers has a current employment opportunity plan on file, and has met all other planning road commission specifications and requirements. It is a recommendation to the Board of County Road Commissioners for the issuance of a purchase order to Unistars Arco computers for item number 94, desktop computers, in the amount of $15,194.48.
So moved.
Or, Mr. Chair, I have a question. These computers is for whom? I missed that. Follow-up question. That's the part I wanted to hear, outdated. What do you guys normally do with the outdated computers? Do you keep them for a while in storage in case?
If I'm not mistaken, they're stripped and then they're sold in online auction.
Oh, okay,
If need be, some of them may be kept, but it would be determined based on the requirements and needs.
okay, thank you.
Is it within our purview to donate them after they've been stripped?
Well, based on our policy for surplus equipment and material, there is language in there, which if the board as a whole would like to see a copy of that policy, there is language in there that can be noted to a nonprofit charity. So it's not out of the question. It would be based on, to me, it would be based on IT manager's thoughts as to, say, the life of that particular technology computer. So, something we could definitely discuss.
If I may continue for just a moment.
Yes,
Thanks, Joe.
yeah.
I know of some places that accept outdated computers and refurbish them and then donate them back to schools and worthwhile causes. So probably wouldn't hurt for us to look into it. Thank you.
What I call everyday programs such as Microsoft program, do they remain on the computer like Excel, Words, and et cetera? Only reason I raised that issue because it may become a problem for these organizations to refurbish the computers with the programs. Just a thought.
I thank Mr. Geringer for bringing up somebody, because again, only because you mentioned it, there is also a computer company that handles computers for several school districts, and they do the same thing. You give them to them, they furbish them, and then give them freely to students and others who don't have the ability to have them. And so, again, I know this has gone on for years, so again, if we can give you the names of the two, I would like that rather than just selling them at auction, if we could start considering doing that.
I think what we'll do is we'll have, we'll take a look at the board policy, you can get a copy to all the board members. That way we can look at it, and we can have a discussion
Right.
on that, if it needs to be amended or changed to allow that, then we can bring that up. If it's already in there and it's allowed, then it just needs a board, take board action to just allow that to happen. So we'll do a little research, get the information out, policy to all the board members. You can get the names to Randy. If you have the guys, if you have it, a charity or organization that does something like that, get the name, contact information to Randy.
Right.
And then that way, when we're ready to discuss it, we'll have everything, we can either allow it or approve it, and then we show it at that time.
Yeah, if Mike could tell us exactly what he does to the outdated computers, I'm pretty sure that you'd remove the hard drives of them so that they can't be used, but if you would. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Roll call. Elkins.
Yes.
Lane.
Yes.
Massey.
Yes.
Garinger.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes. Okay, item A2 is an amendment to the purchase order for deer carcass removal. On October 2nd, 2023, the Board of County Road Commissioners approved the issuance of a purchase order to Respectful Removal in the amount of $40,000 for a new deer carcass removal program that was being proposed. This contract has been in place for the first 3 months of the fiscal year and has been well received by the maintenance department staff. Due to the success of the program, additional funds in the amount of $50,000 are being requested to accommodate carcass removal demand through the end of the fiscal year. Funds are available in the Department 2023-2024 fiscal year contracted services account. Staff recommends that the Board of County Road Commissioners approve the amendment of the purchase order number 86524 to Respectful Removal, reflecting an increase of $50,000, raising the total amount of the purchase order to $90,000.
So moved.
Support.
I got a question. Are they picking up a lot of carcasses now or mix them? That's why it's been asking for an increase in that?
Yes, that is correct. Do you want to check on that?
Yeah, so the guidance we've given the contractor is, we'll receive the phone call on where the dead deer is, and our staff goes out. If our staff cannot move it, for instance, it's in somebody's front yard, they're very limited to what they can do with the deer. If they can't pull it to the edge of the woods or something like that, relatively easily, then they get back to the maintenance receptionist, and she'll go ahead and contact the carcass removal company. So our current contract is $190 per deer. So we haven't went through that full initial $40,000 yet, but we have went through quite a bit of it. So like I say, the maintenance staff really enjoys the program. It's something they don't have to worry about anymore. We can't physically dispose of a deer in our pits anymore, so it sort of hamstrings us on what we can do with the deer. So this has actually worked out really well for us so far.
If I may touch on that too, also, I've drafted a policy procedurally for us to remove deer that legal is currently reviewing, and then I'll bring it to the board so that there is a protocol as to what we're doing and how we're doing it. So based on the numbers, as the deputy indicated, based on the numbers for the last 3 years of tracking and what we were spending, we're kind of on pace It's not necessarily exceeding, but there is there is an increased amount of deer pickup, of course, during this time frame, and it's working out well for us.
Okay. I do know that this is the first time we've did this, right? So, okay, so we'll track, okay,
Absolutely.
we'll know, okay. Had a budget for next time, okay.
Mr. Garinger?
The company that we are hiring as a service, they've agreed to these particulars? Doesn't say whether they have or not? Okay. All right.
Anyone else? Okay. Roll call?
Massey,
Yes.
Garinger,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes,
Elkins.
Yes.
Lane.
Yes.
Okay, item A3.
Item A3, bid results and award of contract for Ridge Road, Lakeshore Drive, Northerly to the end of pavement in Atlas Township. Bids were received for tree removal and ditch grading to Ridge Road, Lakeshore Drive, Northerly to the end of pavement located in Atlas Township. The low bid was submitted by Kennedy Excavating, Inc. in the amount of $427,962.03, which is 6.9% above the approved amount of $400,000 per the local roadway construction agreement with Atlas Township. Kennedy Excavating, Inc. has an approved equal employment opportunity plan on file with the Road Commission, and the recommendation is that the board accepts a low bid of $427,962.03, and furthermore authorizes and awards and signs the construction contracts after staff has received and accepted the contracts, bonds, and insurance submitted by Kennedy Excavating, Inc. for tree removal and ditch grading of Ridge Road from Lakeshore Drive Northerly to the end of pavement.
forward.
Thank you. Ms. Lane?
May I ask how long, if you have any idea of the length of this ditching and tree removal, just as a point of information? It wasn't in the information you received.
It's approximately half a mile.
Okay. Is that it, Ms. Lane? Mr. Massey?
Yes, my question is, what is the reason for the tree removal?
The trees are in the right-of-way of the road, they're in the ditch line, and they're obstructing drainage.
So is this a road that we just recently looked into, or has it been growing over time? I mean, the trees.
They've been growing over a number of years.
Okay.
All right, anything else? All right, roll call?
Garinger,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes,
Elkins.
Yes.
Lane.
Yes.
Massey.
Yes.
Okay, A4.
A4, requesting board authorization to enter into a contract with Troy and Banks. The city of Dearborn solicited sealed proposals for utility bill audit services. Contract number, a lot of twos. Utility bill audit was awarded to Troy and Banks. This contract has been selected as an extendable/cooperative contract extended to other participating public agencies nationwide. Troy and Banks is offering a one-time contingency-based forensic audit of our utilities and telecommunication bills. Fees of 20% are paid only if a refund or reduction of cost is charged to our organization. The consultant will not only seek past overpayments, but will look for cost-cutting measures available to us in future usage in exchange for 20% of our cost savings for 12 months. If they are unable to reduce the organization's energy or telecommunications annual expenditures or obtain a refund or credit of past overcharges, there will be no fee for their services. The audit will consist of a comprehensive review of our utility and phone bills. They will review meter problems, abnormal consumptions, tariff options, rate changes, double billings, and debt services. They will also look at current contracts to ensure proper billing and line-by-line review of our telecommunication bills. Troy and Banks estimates that 60 to 70% of municipalities that they have audited are in fact overcharged. The Genesee County Road Commission has not completed an energy/utility audit since 2008. Staff recommends that the Board of County Road Commissioners approve entering into a contract with Troy and Banks for a one-time utility bill audit and authorize the execution and signing of the contract.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Lane first, then Mr. Massey.
As for future reference, if we could put down Troy and Banks of Buffalo, New York. Otherwise, I automatically, when I started, was thinking of Troy, Michigan. But that also made me think, is there any company in Michigan? Well, first of all, preference Genesee County or then Michigan that has the ability to do what sounds like a fantastic audit for us.
That I don't know without further research. And we would also have to go out for bid ourselves, where this one, all that legwork has already been done, and the company has already won an award from another municipality.
Mr. Massey?
Yes, I have one question to the finance director. As long as I have looked at contract numbers, I've never seen a contract number. This is the first time. All the numbers are exactly the same. Is this the first time you've seen that?
I don't know, but it was odd looking, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. But my other comment is double billing and rate changes. Those two things come to mind that stands out to me is that there's no way that you would know that the way, is this through consumers?
This is an independent company.
No,
that's
I don't
going-
mean the audit. I mean the
They're
bill.
going to look at all of our utilities, whether it be through consumers or any other company, and also all of our telecommunications and internet services.
They do some things that may not be appropriate when you start dealing with some of these some of these energy companies. They do things. They can double bill you. I've seen that happen personally to me. Okay, not to a large company, but personally to me. I just wanted to make that
And the
comment.
types of charges that they're
Yes.
charging to
Yes.
understand exactly what is
Yes.
allowable and what is not, yeah.
Yes. Yes. I'm
Okay.
done.
Mr. Geringer?
Was this unsolicited?
We have a company that we currently hire that looks at gas and electricity. But in reviewing that, we got to talking about that particular vendor because we received some invoices from them that, were not typically received in the past. And as we were talking about this, this person actually reached out to us. So
So it was unsolicited?
quite a coincidence that we were looking into something like this, and then all of a sudden, we get the phone call.
It's been vetted, if I may.
Okay, that's my next question.
It's been
Randy.
vetted not only by the city, but other municipalities throughout, so the references have been.
Yes, we
So,
did check
yes.
with other
And it's through a-
locals.
And it's through a cooperative, like NJPA or Sourcewell, so it's a purchasing cooperative, so it is a vetted. So when we talk about that, it's extremely vetted.
Will this have far-reaching consequences, like go out to the townships per se, because streetlights, when they audit that for electricity?
No, I think the audit, the forensic audit on this, if I am correct in knowledge that I read up on or informed of, is basically reviewing our bills to check for double payments, check for inappropriate charges, meter readings, things like that. The same with telecommunications. If you haven't read, there's a lawsuit for Verizon right now, so things like that.
Okay, thank you.
In addition to lines that we currently have in service that we may not need.
Right. They, and I haven't talked to them, but I have done this in the past with another organization. They can do streetlights.
Right.
If they're requested, because we had them do streetlights, we had them do outside lights of our perimeter of our building, all of our locations. So, I mean, they can do it. I'm sure they'll do it if you ask them. So it's something I think that if we're going to move forward with this, I think it's something that we would want to include because that may help the municipalities that we serve because they may find an error somewhere in a bill. And it's not going to cost us much to do it, because it's just going to be lumped in with the
Be in our bill, so.
source of the work. Yeah, so they'll
It'd be in
have
our
it.
bill.
The other thing is, my question is, because like I said, been through this before, a lot of these companies do it based on estimated savings. Is this actual savings or estimated savings?
This is an actual savings and only after we have received our refunds or
So
credits.
they'll take the last 12 months, they'll make the recommendations and changes, and then for the next 12 months, they'll compare that to the last 12 months to give you an actual saving versus what we'd use
Yeah, so
historically?
they're going back 3 years for refunds, credits, overbillings, that type of thing
Right.
for past billings. But then going forward, they will be making recommendations for cost savings on our part.
Right.
And then, yes, at the end of the 12 months, we will calculate the 20%.
So we're not paying them off the estimated savings for
No.
the next 12 months, we're paying them off the actual
Off
savings?
the
Okay,
actual,
because a
yeah.
lot of them do the estimated. It just gets really questionable in my mind. Mr. Massey?
Mr. Chair, listening to you, the comments you have made, do we need a vote to do the whole 9 yards?
We would need a vote to move forward, yes, sir.
I mean, not with this, but I mean with what you made the comment.
We don't know if they can do it, yeah, I know where you're going. We don't know if they can do it, we would ask them, but if the board wants them to do that, we can either postpone this and do the research and come back to you and give you that answer, whether they're able to do these other topics that we discussed, like streetlights and things of that nature. And then you can make the recommendation. I don't think this is time sensitive, is it?
It's not time sensitive, but when you talk about streetlights and other things, and you got to keep in mind, they're going to be looking at our energy bills. So, the bill is associated with the streetlight and the charges in regards to that.
Well, that's not all they're gonna look at. They're gonna look at the light that's being utilized. There's 5 different types, I think, right now, or 4 different types that they're using. They're gonna look at it, evaluate it, they'll make a recommendation. Usually it's an LED some sort that's a very low wattage, low voltage, so it doesn't take a lot of energy, and because that's what they did for us. They came out and they were gonna swap out the light heads, the fixtures, the light fixtures, and the bulbs. So there's a cost incurred to that, but then they tell you, well, if you spend $10,000, you're gonna save $20,000 next year, or over the next 5 years, So you can kind of gauge out what the savings is over the period of time that they're gonna use. Yes.
Well, to piggyback off that, there's a part of the managing director's report where we are already looking at, energy saving methods. So that is a different scenario that the fleet maintenance and facilities director is looking at.
So that, with that said, we would want to look at, do we move forward with this, having them do everything, or doing our internal changes to our
My
lighting
recommendation,
system?
Mr. Chair, would be to move forward with this as a whole board and then let us continue staff doing what we're doing in regards to energy saving ways such as LED, things like that.
Because they're going to make that recommendation most likely on our buildings,
Correct.
because that would be part of this.
Yeah,
Okay. Mr. Garinger?
I believe the document clarifies exactly what their intentions are and how they're going to progress in the future for it too. So they're going to look at energy savings, they say, in the future. So it looks like it would cover just about anything that we would want to vote on, even in the future. The concern that I had was the same concern that you had, Mr. Chairperson, was whether it was estimated or actual. It says actual on the document,
Yep.
but we should make sure that that's exactly what their intentions are, because it makes a big difference. I mean, they could put us on the hook, as they have with other municipalities, ours included. A company came, they wanted to do quite a extensive audit, and as such, make recommendations on it and save us money. You write into a contract, and then they really don't follow through with anything. They just kind of absorb you with everyone else. I don't want to see that happen here. I'd like to see us progress forward with it.
Agree.
Yeah, we've already verified that that's actual savings.
Good, thank you.
Okay. All right, so it's actual savings, the scope of the work, it's pretty
clean.
Okay.
Yeah,
So, I
Feel
mean,
comfortable with
and you
what
can
the
check, and if streetlights aren't in it,
yeah.
you know, we can ask them, you know, what the difference would be. I'm sure they would want to be part of it because,
It would be based
it
on the
just-
percentage and whichever savings they could
Right.
provide us too, so we're not paying unless there's savings.
right, okay. Yes, Mr. Garinger?
I take it that Bill's going to take a look at the contract for us to make sure that it's correct.
Correct.
Thank you.
So, question is, what does the board want to do?
Yes, move forward with this.
Okay.
And then,
So we've got a motion and support. So is there any other discussion?
Massey, move ahead with this, and if they can extend it, bring any extensions forward with knowing that I would be personally supportive of anything else.
Okay, all right, everybody's good? Okay, roll call.
Lane,
Yes,
Massey.
yes,
Garinger,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Elkins.
Yes. All right, thank you. All right, item A5.
Requesting board approval to purchase one 2024 GMC Sierra 2500 HD double cab 4x2 pickup truck. The state of Michigan has awarded the Vehicles Patrol passenger trucks and vans contract to Berger Chevrolet. One 2024 GMC Sierra 2500 HD double cab 4x2 pickup truck in the amount of $43,260. The new truck will be replacing truck line equipment number 1062 for the GCS fleet. Funds are available under Department 30, 23, York Scope, year capital outlay, road equipment line item 976. Berger Chevrolet is in the process of getting an EEO file. They have met all of the lease and road condition specifications and requirements. A PO will not be issued until the EEO forms are approved. Recommendation is that the Board of County Road Commissioners approve the issue of the purchase order to Berger Chevrolet for one 2024 GMC Sierra 2500 double cab 4x2 pickup truck in the amount of $43,316.
so move.
Support? Support? Okay. Mr. Smith with support. Mr. Massey made the motion. Question, Mr. Garinger?
Yes, I have a question. Is there a reason why we're just having a two-wheel drive rather than a four-wheel drive?
Yeah, the two-wheel drive is just for, it's a mowing truck, it's replacing mowing truck, so they don't need 4x4 on
Okay, so they're not going to be used in the wintertime?
the, no. Well, they will use it in the wintertime, but it's not used for plowing or anything like that. It's just basically goes from location to location.
Hence my reason goes back to the 4x4. It's Michigan and it's winter.
All of our 2500s, Commissioner Manager, all of our 2500 heavy duties, they're mainly just workforce vehicles. What does that mean? They're towing a patch or doing something along those lines. So the 4x4s are more suited within the fleet. As I think Director Love will tell you, they're more suited in the fleet when it comes to, you know, everyday trucks, supervisors, things like that.
Mr. Massey?
What is the specification, not engine-wise, powertrain, but like some of the, you know, I assume most all trucks come with air conditioning now, radio and et cetera. What else is required?
What's equipped in the vehicles today? Like air conditioning, you know,
Yeah, push button start is standard now.
rear camera.
Yeah, camera is,
I mean, it's.
Oh, you do have the parking cameras, you do have,
Camera
the
parking,
cameras, that's standard
yes.
now.
That's standard now?
yes.
Oh, yeah.
2000 and, I think it's 2017, maybe sooner. It was a standard feature on all vehicles by Chevy.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, if you want, after the meeting, you can ask for it. Remote start's a standard, keyless entry, you know, AC, and, you know,
Hands-free?
No,
hands-free.
hands-free?
Hands-free is a standard option now too. Yep, so they can go
Really?
right through their vehicle. They're not holding the phone anymore, so, I believe Google Play, but It's the standard options. We're not decking these vehicles out. We're just putting the standard options and then some that we've seen.
What standard? Really? Oh, okay. Just wanted to know. Okay.
All right. Mr. Garinger, you have a question?
I think that we're going in the wrong direction. I think we should be forking out maybe the other $7,000 on these fleets and getting them all 4x4s rather than because there's a lot of times when people it's soft in the spring and you're driving and then you end up with issues. If they were 4x4, then you kind of eliminate that.
If I may, we'll take a look at, I'll have the director take a look at that.
Well, you're talking to a guy who's got 3 4x4s, so
I think it's a losing argument.
I cannot argue against that.
All right, any other questions or comments? Mr. Massey?
Based on, piggyback on what Chris said, what do we do about this current order if we're gonna look into spending the extra $7,000?
This order is, I would say, status quo, 4x2.
Okay,
We'll look as we move it forward.
okay, thank
So
you.
we can bring something of that nature, report back to the board on the difference in the benefits of the 4x4 versus the two-wheel.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you satisfied with that?
yeah, I'm good with it. I don't want to hold them up.
Okay.
All right, thank you. All right, roll call?
Smith,
Yes.
Elkins,
Yes.
Lane,
Yes.
Massey,
Yes.
Garinger.
Absolutely.
All right. A6, we have vouchers in a total of $1,324,842.
Chair, I've looked them over, and I would recommend things.
Okay, do we have a support?
Support.
Thank you. Any questions or comments?
Yeah, I have a
Mr.
question
Massey?
for the finance director. Is that, are these for 1 month, for 15 days, what? These vouchers?
4x4s for this.
Pay ending 12/15 to 12/21.
December through, just the month of December.
Okay,
Oh, and January 9th. No, just the month of December.
just the month of December? By looking at this, how do you know it's the month of December?
Well, there's a date up top where it says voucher date.
Yeah, what it says 12/21/23.
Pay ending.
So voucher 40994 is for the week of December 14th. 40995 is for December 14th,
Okay.
upper right-hand corner.
I saw so many dates on here too. I didn't know which day was which. You got the 15th here, is ending, and then you got the
Pay
voucher
period
date.
ending.
Yes. But you got 12/21, then you got 12/15, which is only a few days difference. That's why I asked. Yes.
Any other questions? Okay, roll call?
Elkins,
Yes.
Lane,
Yes.
Massey,
Yes.
Garinger.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Okay, item B1.
Removal of equipment from Genesee County Road Commission records. All the equipment has been deemed unrepairable and must be moved on Road Commission records. Asset tab number 2027, description brother typewriter, reason unrepairable, recommendation that the board authorize the removal of sold and unrepairable equipment from all Genesee County Road Commission.
So moved.
Support.
Any questions or comments? All right, seeing none, roll call?
Massey,
Yes.
Garinger,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Elkins.
Yes.
Lane.
Yes.
Okay, item B2.
Removal of equipment from Genesee County Road Commission records. The following equipment has been deemed unrepairable and must be removed from all Genesee County Road Commission records. Equipment number 5664, description 2010 guidance laser, research unrepairable. Recommendation that the board authorize the removal of sold and unrepairable equipment from all Genesee County Road Commission.
Support.
Any questions? Mr. Massey?
I have a question. over time, is there a requirement by the state that your records be audited?
No requirement by the state, but as part of our annual audit, these records.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, seeing none, roll call?
Geringer,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Elkins,
Yes?
Lane,
Yes.
Massey.
Yes,
Okay, all right, managing director's report. Seeing that there's none, we'll move on. So we're writing more notes to make our meeting longer?
Yes, Mr. Chair, a couple comments from the department directors. The fiscal year 2023 audit, the auditors have reported most of the field work has been completed, and they will be wrapping up the verification of all other data by January 12, 2024. The next step is to prepare a draft of our final financial statements to me, and the auditors have no concerns currently. Act 51 report, 90% of it is of the data has been calculated and entered into the state of Michigan ADARs. The remaining 10% of data is project costs from the 2023 fiscal year. I do have a copy of the current and new fringe and overhead rates for 2024 fiscal year. The HR department is currently working on auditing the ADP data for the required ACA 1095 annual reports. The audit ensures that active employees for 12 months of the 2023 year have the appropriate IRS 1095 code reflecting a minimum essential medical coverage for the months employed with GCRC during the 2023. HR is also beginning to engage in defining GCRC's recruiting goals and develop a strategic recruiting plan. The Fleet Maintenance Department has received $5,054.76 incentive checks from Consumers Energy Business Energy Efficiency Program. The program is to incentivize businesses to purchase energy efficient equipment and material to help reduce energy in the use of Michigan. Chris Anspaugh, the Stockroom Facility Supervisor, has been instrumental in working with our rep to ensure when upgrading and replacing light fixtures and equipment at various GCRC buildings, we're replacing them with energy efficient items that qualify for the rebate incentives along with filling the proper paperwork with consumers. It is time consuming. I've done it, but it is well rewarding. So Metro Garage, for those, it's moving along. So the GCRC will be implementing our new GIS-based resident complaint software process this week. This will be located on our website and will provide feedback to the residents as their complaints are being taken care of by our staff. I think we did this demonstration to you as a whole board at one point. This will be allowing residents to receive a feedback, being notification as to the complaint they filed. So right now, we currently don't have that. So we've already done the training with the supervisors last week, the deputy, myself, and the director of engineering. So very excited about it. We have made employment offers to 6 new equipment operators on trunk line maintenance, first and third shifts to fill vacancies. Another solicitation will go out this week attempting to hire an additional 5 qualified equipment operators. That's where we stand right now, as well as some various other jobs throughout the organization. Last but not least, you received a SALT report that I gave you. This is a report that I do with the director of, deputy director, as well as the director of engineering. Just a keynote here in comparison, you don't have this one, but this is a comparison I do every year from the prior year. Just in the month of November, in comparison to salt usage and tonnage, we saved about $71,000 just in salt for November. In December, it was a great month. We saved $199,418. So again, I can provide the board as a whole this if you so please.
You might want to just email it to the board members.
I can do
Take a
that.
look at it.
But it's something we're tracking. Our budget is currently, as you'll see on that other report, $1.5 million. Tells you where we are percentage-wise. And again, this is as of the stock requisitions for material that we've seen so far as I pull the data. So it's a moving thing, but, you know, based on the amount of snowfall we haven't received yet, it is favorable for the road commission.
Ms. Lane?
Yes. Hearing the savings is wonderful. Would you make sure that if there are savings like that and we need to use it for pensions or any of the other long-term liabilities that we have, that we direct it in that way so that we are using it in the best benefit of the road commission and their employees and our retirees?
As always.
Mr. Massey?
Mr. Chair, the director, I have a concern. Please clear this up for me if you can. You quoted those savings, okay? We've had an extremely mild winter. For talking purpose, for reality, I should say, what would have happened if we had not had a mild winter so far? I mean, the month of November and December. The winter doesn't start really until
We would have
December.
saved 71,000 in November, and we would have saved 199 in December.
We would what?
We would not have saved $71,000 in salt usage in November and 199,000 in December. I didn't top on the savings that we have in overtime either. The overtime budget within Department 20, which is our maintenance, is $850,000. So far, as you'll see on your report, our overall departmental for 2024 fiscal year is only at 7% of budget. So all those take in consideration, had we had a bad November and December, we would be probably sitting where we're at last year when we look at overall. I look at the last 20 years of salt tonnage that we use, and we average about 20,000 tons of salt. So again, I wanted to point out, November and December were mild, as we all are aware of. However, that doesn't mean that January, February, and March aren't going to be bad months. Knock on wood.
So what I'm driving at, it sort of reminds me that, don't take the, only basing this comment on your numbers, okay? Is that the numbers are not quite accurate. They're not representing what would have happened if we'd have had an extreme November and December. It seems like the savings for November and December, as of now, should have been much larger than you have reported. Now, I'm not here to criticize your report. I'm here to say what I'm estimating in my mind, because I'm thinking that you didn't have that many salt trucks every day out. And if you'd have had a bad December, especially December, okay, you would have had salt trucks out every day, part of the night. You wouldn't have, 171,000, it doesn't ring a bell to me. But you came up with the numbers, you know
I
what you
didn't come
got.
up with the numbers. The numbers are the facts of the data that which we pulled. They're accurate numbers. They're not numbers I miraculously come up with. They're actual numbers of savings of salt we have not expensed from the $1.5 million budget. You're absolutely correct when you state these are just, all I'm giving you is a snapshot. These are numbers based on November and December. I have no idea what we did in January, February, and March. So could we spend $1.5 million of that salt budget and expenditure? Absolutely we could. Could we spend a larger amount of overtime budget than what we have right now? Absolutely. This is Michigan, and we don't know. I just wanted to give a snapshot as to what we have right now, and then, knock on wood, if it proceeds to be a mild winter in January, February, and March, you know, at least the board as a whole is aware of where we are in savings. And as Commissioner Lane stated, we as a staff, I will get with staff and we'll look at those savings and what can we do moving out of winter, as well as what can we do within our
Okay, Mr. Geringer?
It's my belief that you're already utilizing some of the manpower to do the ditching operations that continued on through these winter months, and we generally can't do that. we have them on salt trucks at that point. So we've been able to utilize the employees in a more effective manner for the future, for
We're just
2024.
blessed at this moment with the mild winter. Again, this is Michigan. I can't, all I want to do is provide, again, Mr. Chair, all I want to do is provide is the board a snapshot of where we are from winter. As well, we'll do this in the summer too.
So, just,
So $250,000 has been saved, approximately, because of the mild winter so far. It's not saying that his factors are incorrect, because that's actual figures. He didn't have to expend that on the overtime. He didn't have to expend that on buying extra salt as a result. He's been able to save that for when, now winter's gonna hit tomorrow, and we're gonna end up expending more monies. But hopefully, we'll be able to maybe put more boots on the ground. I mean, there's a lot of complaints that have been out there in regards to us not clearing the roads off quick enough, and my wife harped on me this morning about it, and maybe we can look into that, you know.
We are, if I may, Mr. Chair, we are looking into that. We, with the deputy, myself, and the supervisors, we are constantly looking at improving, increasing our efficiencies within our snow removal. So that is one thing that is a hot item topic for us as to how do we be proactive instead of reactive.
Massey?
let me piggyback off of something that Chris said. Some of the other work in this budget, does that include some of the other work like the ditching, the tree trimming? Is that part of the same budget?
It's not the same line item, it's the same budget.
It's the same budget. The labor force is the labor force. It's already plugged in for the salaries throughout the fiscal year. The equipment is already there. It's just based on that. What I think Commissioner Geringer is stating is that based on the mild winter, we're able to shift gears and actually move into ditching and things like that because the ground isn't necessarily frozen. So we're able to do some of the work that we probably would not be able to achieve until coming out of winter and then later. And then keep in mind, as soon as we come out of winter, we're always getting on gravels. So again, we're looking from a staff standpoint, we're looking at trying to increase efficiency, increase the overall operation, and cost save as much as we possibly can within the means.
But then you said $71,000 saving. I thought you said 71,000. Yeah,
$71,000 in salt.
yes.
Yes.
That's what got my attention. I didn't think that number was high enough. And it's just being, I just have to be honest about it. I'm not no expert in the area, but it seems like that if we'd have been putting down more salt in a bad winter, man, we'd have been up around $200,000 or $300,000 probably. I'm just estimating that. I
Well,
don't
and
know.
you're absolutely right. If it was a bad November, December, we probably wouldn't see the, $199,000 and $71,000, right? Again, it's just a snapshot that I wanted to share with the entire board.
I'm just trying to get
No,
an
absolutely.
understanding. I'm not questioning your numbers.
No,
I
no, no,
understand
no.
it's a
Again,
snapshot.
That's absolutely
Yes,
understandable.
that's all.
Anything else?
That is it, unless you would like the communications coordinator to discuss the outreach.
Well,
briefly.
do any of the
Does
board
anybody have
members want
questions?
to hear from the media director in regards to the piece that she put, communication, I'm sorry?
Yes, I would like to.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Provides a brief overview of our social media and outreach efforts over 2023. Shows how many people we reach and how many people engage in our content online. And we reached over 1 million people, which means folks showed up on their comments and their tweets in some capacity. And it just gives kind of the metrics, our social media metrics, and then talking about the media coverage that we've had, some of the outreach events that we've done over 2023. And then on the last page, I've just highlighted some of the goals that I have in 2024. And I'm always looking for feedback. If you have any ideas that you want me to try out.
Thank you. Any questions or anything? No? Okay. All right, are you done with your report?
I'm done.
Okay, all right, now we're down to the commissioner's comment. I did want to bring something up. we're looking at possibly trying to go more electronic. And Randy has brought this to me, and we discussed it a little bit. He's thinking of looking at possibly getting either tablets or laptops, depending on cost, for the board members. So instead of printing this and mailing it out and all that, it would just simply be emailed to your tablet or laptop, whichever he ends up going with or what we decide. And then that way we would just pull it up. You'd have it with you whenever you need it. You could pull it up. You could go in and pull up some different facts and some history on different areas. We haven't really decided what all is going to be available on it, but it would give you your agendas, your attachments for your meetings. So I just wanted to, minutes. So I just wanted to kind of throw that out. I'm sure they'll be coming to us to do like a presentation of some sort.
Yes, we're hoping, if I may.
Yep.
We're hoping by the end of January to have a software vetted. There's a couple other road commissions that are currently using various different softwares. They've been using it for quite some time. It works really well. As the chairperson indicated, based on your user capabilities, whether you want a laptop or a tablet, such as an iPad or something, but all the data would be your minutes, your board minutes, your board agendas, everything would be on there, and you'd be able to do it digital. We would not be mailing out any of those things. However, if you would like hard copies of certain things, we can definitely provide that, but it would all be available on that electronic. One last thing, I'm sorry. The highway conference, highway conference is in April. I'll be bringing that to the board at the next meeting as to registration.
Right. That'll be in Lansing.
Oh, okay, so it's still in
Yeah,
Lansing.
so typically what we've done in the past is just drive down for the meeting and then drive back because it's so close. Unless weather conditions are so that they're not safe, and then at that point we would be looking at putting the board members up so that you don't have to drive there and drive back on icy roads or hazardous roads. Okay. I'll start with Ms. Lane. Do you have anything you would like to add, or
I'll just,
you're not gonna say anything about the retirees, or did you talk to everybody already?
I appreciate everybody having a safe holiday season, and we look forward to a bright 2024.
Right.
And go blue. Even though I didn't have anybody that went to Michigan, today is a day for Michigan to be proud.
Okay, Mr. Massey?
Yes, Mr. Chair. I think going forward, as a board, not a couple of individuals, I think we should be more transparent about board information. I don't think in the past we have been transparent.
Okay. Well, we can work on making that better. That's not a problem. Is that it?
Yes,
Okay.
that's it.
Mr. Geringer, you have anything?
This is a question for Randy, our Director Delapont. You said the conference was in April? I thought it was March 19th to 20th.
Yeah, it's
That's
March.
March, I misspoke.
Okay, all right. I'm
He's
good.
trying to save the road commission money by not having to register us, you know? And then say,
I-
I
oops.
misspoke.
I'd like to congratulate both Tim and Kathy. And I think I should explain a little bit why I voted for you. I believe that the three of us, well, I think we're more than capable of taking over the task of being a chairperson, any one of us. I think that you, at this point, have a lot of irons in the fire that need to be continued to carried on so that we can continue to be better for this year. But don't think that this is gonna last. We're gonna go after you, so.
I expect that, but I agree with that. We have a lot of things that we're trying to get accomplished and make the road commission better and better, and a lot of goals that we want to discuss. And there's, I shared with Mr. Smith this morning, I want to do a workshop with the board to discuss some ideas and different strategies and different goals for the road commission going into this year, so.
I do have to agree with Joe. I think that transparency is paramount for this organization, and that it comes from the top down, and we need to be cognizant of that. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Smith?
Well, I look forward to a very exciting 2024. I'm steady learning. I'm steady getting understanding. My colleagues, fellow commissioners, they keep me abreast of certain things. If I got questions, they readily let me know, even yourself most of the time. You know, so I'm just, congratulations on getting reelected, you too, Kathy.
Thank you.
And I look forward to going forward
Okay.
with transparency.
And like I said, if you have questions, you just call. I mean, I'm available. Some of you take advantage of it, and some don't, you know, but, you know, if you have questions, I don't know when you have questions, so if you have questions, just call. You got my number.
Defend myself, I raised 4 sons, they're as big as you guys, so I can handle you.
You don't have a son my size.
No, they're all bigger. They're all bigger. They're all 6'2" and they're in shape.
May I go back to something? I just want to raise this issue because it came from the attorney. I'm trying to refresh in his memories. Remember when Kathy raised the issue about we should be more cognizant of the fact what we say at meetings? She didn't exactly say that. But when I said we cannot suppress anyone's speech. Now, let me go back something. I don't know whether the attorney remember this. He did say months ago that the Supreme Court passed a law that you cannot suppress anyone. I'm talking about the United States Supreme Court. You cannot suppress, he said Supreme Court. Okay, I don't know which one he's talking about, local code or the Supreme Court. I mean, United States Supreme Court passed a law that you cannot suppress anyone's speech. I remember you saying that, attorney.
So no intent of doing that, just
Okay.
being more respectful. That's the first time ever in my life I heard so many swear words. I'm glad I can't remember them.
Oh, really?
Really, there was only one 4-letter word that I know. The others I couldn't repeat because I don't know them.
That's right. You didn't.
My father beat my brother when he was, and I said, what did he say? He said, you don't need to know.
Hey, you didn't come up through Cooperative America.
I came up.
If you had come up through Cooperative America in some of those board meetings, it doesn't make the news media. I tell you, it was you. This is nothing compared to Cooperative America. I'm telling you what I know. Nothing compared to it.
There will be a better example to how to communicate so you can learn.
But let
and
me tell you
exchange.
this, since the attorney's here. Depends on which attorney's presence you've been in certain meetings. This has been mild compared to the way they clown and put on. I mean, they put on shows now. But here's the good thing about it. After they leave the show, you sitting there, these guys want to fight each other. Then you walk outside the door and pass by, they say, hey, how was the party last night? How was the party last night?
You mentioned as changes, we might need that, the gates are supposed to be up, so we shouldn't need any validation on our tickets.
Well,
Okay, so if there's a problem with that, let us know, but just so you know, the gates should be up today.
I had a problem because I had to call you. I didn't know what was going on.
You have a problem, you know.
Yes.
They're losing a lot of income that way, though.
The gates were up yesterday after our board meeting too, so.
Oh.
I don't understand the logic of when they're up, when they're down. All I know is when they're up, just keep driving.
Yes. When they're down, come back inside.
That's right. Second validation.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.